Okay, so what is information architecture? I've seen it as IA. When is it needed? Why should I even understand it? If that sounds like familiar internal dialogue, trust me, I've been there too. Which is why today we're going to be giving you everything that you need to know about information architecture, what it is, what it's for, and some good examples of it. Before we begin, the YouTube gods would highly appreciate if you could spare a moment to smash the like button if you enjoyed the video. If not, for me and this beautiful time. So what is information architecture, or IA? Simply put, it is the practice of being able to organize information in a product or service in a way that makes it easy for a user or customer to find exactly what they're looking for as quickly as possible and be able to operate within the experience intuitively. If you want to make a fire user experience, you're gonna want to take some notes. First off, as someone creating information architecture, you can kind of think of yourself as a digital librarian. But instead of books, you'll be creating and organizing content within a digital product. You'll be asking questions like, where should this information and content we have be in our experience? Which information should we give more priority to? How should we group similar or dissimilar information in our experience? And how and where will our customers expect to find the information that we have? Okay, next, let's talk about the process of creating a information architecture. As mentioned, a good user experience is built on a good foundation. So before we start getting out our digital nails and hammer to get going on building an information architecture, there are a few things that we need to know and understand before we begin. One, we need to understand the business goals of the company that we're working with. Two, we need to define our user goals. Who's going to be using this application, website, or experience? What are they trying to achieve? Three, you want to do some competitor analysis. Who are your competitors? How have they built their experiences? And finally, you want to define what content your experience will need. You'll either be creating content from scratch or organizing content that already exists. If your content already exists, you're going to want to make sure to take inventory and understand what content is most important based on your business and user goals, as well as understanding what's not, and begin to group content and set priorities. P.S. You want to try to work with the people who have developed the content as much as possible so that you have a better understanding of the content overall. In today's world, we are so accustomed to getting what we want when we want it. If you can't do and or find what exactly you're looking for online on a website or an experience within 5 seconds or less, we get frustrated. An experience that has great user experience is Amazon. Amazon makes it so easy for their customers to get exactly what they want when they want it as quickly as possible. And I'm serious about that. In Jeff Bezos' annual letter, he mentions 28% of purchases on Amazon are completed in less than 3 minutes. And research suggests that going to an offline store to do the exact same task takes 1 hour. No thanks. This is how great and user-friendly products function. They make it extremely easy for their users and customers to achieve their goals as quickly as possible. But let's get back to talking about creating information architecture. When defining the information architecture, it's important to think about different users, how they will navigate, search, and use filters in your experience. Keeping with our Amazon example, some users want to search for their desired product because they know exactly what they want. Some may want to filter their way to what they want specifically to find better options. Other users may just be looking for inspiration, and thus why Amazon has the wonderful Explore section on their homepage with multiple curated products. In a nutshell, information architecture ensures that content and information is where it should be. Good information architecture equals good UX. Finally, let's talk about how to create the information architecture step by step. All right, step one. Just like we said, you want to start with grouping the content. You want to categorize and prioritize so that you can come up with a logical menu navigation for the experience. To do this, you can use a card sort test, which helps you understand how users group information in a way that makes sense to them. More videos on this in the future. Step two is you're going to want to create a sitemap. This is a representation of all the different content areas on your website, application, and experience overall. It kind of looks like a family tree and shows the content hierarchy of your experience. You'll have parent pages, child pages showcasing what content lives where within your entire website, application, or experience. Step three, after the sitemap, you're going to want to outline a navigational structure or create a user flow that will help you really account for all the navigational possibilities from one page to another on your site and how content throughout your site is interlinked. You want to ask yourself, based on the customer and business goals, should you make it so that our users can go from one area of the site to another? If the answer is yes, based on the customer and business goals, you want to make sure the users can navigate in that way. The last and final steps are creating wireframes and beginning to user test. Once you have all the information, content that needs to be on your website or experience, and how it should be grouped, called, and how it should all link together, you'll take the information you've gathered and now represent it in wireframes. A wireframe is a low-resolution representation of an interface that doesn't involve things like color, typography, or graphic elements. It simply visualizes the hierarchy and structure of different pages when it comes to where content should be placed, and it also helps with understanding the functionality of your product. From there, you'll be able to figure out what works within your prototype, what doesn't, and continue to refine your experience until you have what it is that performs well with your customers' expectations. When you get to a good place, you can finally start finalizing those design decisions in a high-fidelity prototype. More on high-fidelity prototypes in future videos on the channel. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. We have discussed what information architecture is, how it's used, and the steps you can take to create a fire foundation for your user experience by creating a flawless information architecture. If you've liked this video and you want to continue to learn more about the UI and UX process, Springboard has 2 amazing courses, each in these areas, and you can use the links below to sign up today. Make sure to smash the like button on this video, subscribe to the Springboard channel, make sure to hit the bell to get notified for when we have new and freshly baked videos for you to binge watch and get your learn on with. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Brandon Groce and Springboard out.